Baby, we've done it. Welcome to the Protein Bites podcast with your coach and host, Adriano Rizzo. I'm joining you from the four walls of the Riz Fitness personal training studio office. And I wanted to talk to you today about not throwing the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to Christmas. Now, I'm really lucky that I learned and paid attention to psychological concepts when I was going to university. Studied my university degree, graduated with a Bachelor of Arts Psychology. Now, whilst I'm not a qualified psychologist, it allowed me to understand statistics, research, and also grasp some psychological concepts, theories of motivation, things like that. And what it has allowed me to do in my personal training experience, in my personal training studio, is see patterns of behavior. And I can tell you whether or not a client is going to succeed or not based on pretty much their first 6 weeks. Okay. You can see it very clearly. You can see the patterns of where people do really well, the patterns where people do really wrong, and everything else. Now, today is an absolute blessing because I've already filmed this podcast, recorded it, and it didn't save. That was fun. Yesterday, recorded 3 videos for YouTube, didn't save, got corrupted, and my phone died as well, broke. So yesterday was a bit of a mishmash. Today, we're tuned in, locked in, ready to go. And I've got some really exciting news for anyone that's listening. I am hiring, I do believe, 2 new personal trainers to come into the personal training studio, which is really exciting for me, which means we're going to have more classes, more opportunities for people to exercise, and hopefully reach more people and help more people. And that is the primary reason why Riz Fitness even exists in the first place, is to help people change their lives and understand a better way of living that is focused around health and balance versus extreme dieting and a numbers-based game that a lot of people go to personal training studios and receive. I'm not one of those people. I results first, obviously, but not at the sacrifice of mental health, not at the sacrifice of your well-being. And I think that's where we sit sort of differently. So I wanted to quickly share that news with you. I know a bit tangent. I think that's the word. I wanted to share with you my take on Christmas. Just briefly, a nice little 10-minute podcast today. So a lot of the current themes and things that I see when it comes to Christmas in all my discussions and conversations with clients and soon-to-be clients is that they struggle with the idea of what is it? It's almost committing if there's an obstacle in the way. So if they've got Christmas coming up or a birthday, they're I better not sign up because, I've got Christmas coming and it's holidays. And it's that's actually the best time to sign up. The time when you feel like it's the worst time is probably the best time because you need the most amount of accountability and guidance in the really hard times. The easy times are always going to be easy. New Year's resolutions, It's always going to be really easy, or easier at least. So I find it I think people just aren't aware of their own behavior. And I find it really conflicting when you get people who, think that because there's an obstacle like Christmas in a way, which is 24 hours, which is I just don't, I think it's just crazy. People are willing to offset 3 months of progress for one day. Oh, the holidays. Yeah, guess what? You're going to be 3 kilos fatter now on top of the fat you already have because of Christmas. That's what I don't understand. Instead of 3 kilos lighter. I've got a client, Tay. She thinks about fitness in a really balanced way. I think she won our client of the quarter or most improved client. She did really, really well. And I've been training Tay for about a year. Mother of 2, hairdresser, very busy woman. She understands that she can't go to the gym because she won't hold herself accountable. She also understands moderation and balance and that it just takes some time. She's been super patient. Has probably lost 6 to 7 kilos in the year, which isn't a whole lot by people's standards. But guess what? She's kept that off in the year. She didn't have much to lose, but she's at a body weight low versus last time when she was at a body weight low, she was doing it really unhealthily. And so this time she's eating in moderation. It's easy as fuck for her to keep off because she understands portion sizes. If I'm going to have X food, just have half. If I'm going to do this, just do this. And so she goes, well, look, I know unless I pay X money to you, Adriano, I'm not going to come to the gym. So it's either don't come to the gym at all or pay the money. So she understands herself. She's got quite a lot of self awareness. And that's what I love about Tay, is that she's very in tune with the realities of the world. But she's done this amazing thing where she's like, look, I think last year around this time, she went on holidays to the States and to Bali to visit family, etc. And she's like, look, man, I know I'm going to put on 3 kilos on holiday. I'd rather lose 3 kilos than gain 3 kilos on holiday and be net neutral than 3 kilos in the surplus. And I think that's just where most people go wrong, is they go, oh, well, it doesn't become easier to lose weight after holiday. It actually becomes harder because you're used to eating like shit. And that's where a lot of people go wrong, is that they're really used to their own habits. And it's such a flawed way of doing things. But if you're someone that understands that, yes, you're going to go on holiday, yes, you're going to go to Christmas, you're going to do all these things, and yes, you're probably going to put on weight. But if you get started on your health and fitness journey now, you'll actually be ahead of your inevitable weight gain. You're not going to go to Christmas and be like, I better just eat fucking salad. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody. And so the key thing to understand is that it's really, really important to know yourself, be aware of what's coming up for you, and plan ahead. I've told all my clients as well, coming into silly season, it's middle of November now, coming into silly season, which is December, and pretty much December is almost always a write-off. For most people, I don't believe so. I fucking don't like the month of December for various reasons, but most people just kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater. And it's like, if you have a strategy, you can actually dominate in December and then start your January without having to do all this like a transformation. Like fuck transforming all the time. It's ridiculous. Everyone's like, I got the comeback. And what if you never fall off? People that have to do comebacks to me just piss me off. Like, it's just so stupid. Because you're like, yeah, I want to do all this. And it's like, well, you fucking dropped off in the first place because you didn't care. And now what, you want us to like follow you along because you're doing this transformation? Good on you. Like, because you dropped off? No. You don't deserve flowers because you slacked off. And now you want to kick into gear. It's like, you deserve flowers when you're being consistent. But consistency is not really sexy. Like transformations, that's pretty sexy. They're very appealing to the brain. So it's understanding all that and going, well, fuck, if I work a little bit now, in January, I won't have to work as hard, which is inevitable. I have 5 kilos, 10 kilos I want to lose. Have all this weight that I want to go. But if I don't start now, I'm going to be even worse on the back end. It's not magical. It's like for dieting, this really sweet client called Rachel. Love her a bit. She's a really good client of mine, amazing person. And when she was pregnant, she put on like a lot of weight in that time. And we just sort of like, and look, fair enough, each their own. Whenever people go through their own journeys, that's their stuff. But we got her to sort of track calories at the start to understand portion control and portion size and that sort of stuff. And towards the end, she was like, look, I don't really give a fuck. To be honest, I just want to eat what I want to eat. But unfortunately, what it means is you've got to get off the 30 or 40 kilos you put on in that sort of 9 to 12 month period where you were pregnant. No, 9-month period, but post baby or whatever, right? You've got to actually work to pull that off. And a lot of people don't think that far ahead. They just think that like, in January, you're going to magically be able to shred fat. And it's just not the case. It's hard. It's a lot of consistency. I've been trying to lose 10 kilos this year. I'm a personal trainer, really busy, but I understand I've only got a certain bandwidth. I'm like, look, I need to lose 20 kilos in 3 years. That's my goal that I've set. And I've said this time and time again, but it allows me to actually stretch out my goal. Like, I'm more than 7 kilos down now. And probably by the end of the year, I'll be 110, 111 or something like that. So I'll be at my goal. And so what that allows me to do is create some time around that, live a bit more balanced, have some drinks with friends, and factor all that in. But if I set a goal of like, well, I'll go do it in 6 months, I'm just going to fuck myself. And so that's where kind of people go wrong, is they think that fitness is this like quick sprint and that's it. It's like, no, you're probably better off just doing 2 sessions for the rest of your life than 3 sessions for 10 years and then quitting. Right? Seems to make a bit more sense now. And 2 hours a week isn't a big commitment. It's a very, very small commitment of your time. You've got 144 hours in the week, maybe even more, I think. There's more, 168 hours. I forgot. And it's like, that's like less than 1.5% of your time goes to exercise. That's it. Boom. To make the rest of your life better, to get you to live longer, have you healthier, happier. So a lot of people don't really work with those expectations. They think they've got to go 4, 5, 6 days, sweat their ring off, and it's just silly. It's just a really silly, short-sighted approach to something that needs to be lifelong. You don't have to stay with the same coach for life. That's fine and up to you. But that's definitely the smarter approach, is to understand that it's a marathon, not a sprint. And if you try and sprint it, you're going to fail. And the minute you stop sprinting, you're going to feel exhausted. Right? So the minute you stop sprinting, I've seen countless, and especially guys are great like this. Blokes will do this all the time. Yeah, I lost, 10 kilos, and then within 3 weeks, I put it all back on. You just wasted your time. You literally just wasted your time. Like, you didn't learn anything. You probably didn't get stronger. You just wasted your time. You didn't debit or bank healthy points. Like, your health, the rent is due every week. I don't care what anybody says. Your health, the rent is due every single week, and somebody's got to pay it. And you can either go into debt and your health can go backwards, or you can pay it and keep living in that healthy body if you so choose. But the choice is very much yours if you want to make it. Okay. So I just wanted to talk to you guys briefly about that today. Christmas is one day, or your holiday period is 1 week. You've got 1 week between the 25th and the 31st, which is New Year's. Fucking have some fun for a week. If you want to put on 2 kilos, 3 kilos in that week, go for gold. Binge eat. I don't give a fuck. It's 1 week. Enjoy yourself. You want to try out that new restaurant? You want to fucking try this dessert? Shoot. Go. Have fun. But have that week just be that week. And have a lot of work preceding that. If you're not working preceding that, you're really letting yourself down. And you're going to have to do it anyway. So you can either be fat and unhealthy and hate your life, which is where most people are, whether or not they choose to accept it. I'm not saying I'm fucking the Messiah. Don't get me wrong. I have my days. But I know, thanks to exercise and eating well, my days are better on average than they would have been if I didn't. Okay? Nobody's perfect. But chances are, if you're not looking after your health and exercising regularly, you're going to be a lot less happy than you could be. You just understand that you just aren't aware of the potential, how much better you could feel, and so on and so forth. So I compel you guys to please, please, please don't throw the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to Christmas time. It's just a week at max, or even a day. So get started on your health and fitness goals now. So then by next year, you won't be chasing your tail and you'll be that further ahead versus that much far behind, and that's the reality. You will be behind in Christmas. I will be. Your auntie will be. Everyone you know will be collectively 2 kilos heavier up in Christmas time, okay? So it's just important to keep that in context and understand that if you get started on your health and fitness goals now, you'll have less shit to clean up in January. Hope this podcast has helped, guys. I know it was a quick one today. I've already recorded this exact podcast yesterday and it didn't save, so my head was absolutely done in. So hope this one was somewhat engaging, and speak to you on the next one. Thanks.